the team called the morning steam. It's time to break one for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the morning steam. What? Ramon Scott. Sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the money. Get to the money. You know how we do it.
All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to the Morning Steam Show here for Friday, January 17th, and NFL Fridays. We get ready for our big weekend of games here, Saturday and Sunday, and of course, capped off with Monday's action. Thank you for joining me here for the show, a manageable show for sure. Here on Friday with our light hockey card, and got a nice NBA card tonight, and we've got college basketball as well. We'll probably look at 7 of the 10 matchups, I believe, and well, it's unrivaled night. Anybody up for some women's 3-on-3 basketball? I don't see many books. You tell me if you found a book posting odds on tonight's 2 unrivaled games tonight, and that's something you're interested in. It's got to be better than the TGL, the golf league that is going on. This seems like a legitimate product. Players getting paid $100,000 or more. And, they've got like a little 2 or 3 month season here, playing games on Friday, Saturday, and Monday, 2 games at a time, basically, with all the best players in the world. So we'll see. I think I'm going to predict right now, I think they got a pretty interesting product on their hands, but you know my affinity for the ladies. So let's get into it with the chat and get going with the show. Hope you were able to join us last night for our companion coverage. Maybe it didn't go as well as we had hoped, not only from a betting standpoint, but as from a entertainment standpoint. It's turned out to be a blowout last night with the Oklahoma City Thunder over the Cleveland Cavaliers. Somebody cashed out there. Was it Keith with the winner, and maybe some of you guys as well? But we were teamed up here, Team Steam consensus on Cleveland last night. I did caution, Thunder a little bit, just the fact that they can come back into a spot where maybe their defense, I thought it'd be a lower scoring game, certainly, but I was able to cash on the show with a 4-1 play with Lou Dort over 14.5 points. That actually felt pretty easy by the time I kept thinking that he had already hit it there. I was seeing so much of Lou Dort, stayed in the game with 3 fouls and ended up one of the strong points, of course, SGA with a monster game. I didn't hit anything else really with the game other than that bet, probably just to get me even last night with just quarter unit, but still was cool to see those 2 teams match up again. And that's the nature of it. I guess even if they meet in an NBA finals, there could be blowouts. That's just the way it is in basketball. Cleveland never headed them, it seemed like, there in the second half. So say hello to some folks in the chat. I'll talk a little bit more about the big night last night in college basketball. I said there couldn't be as many great games as there was last night, but we almost got there with more overtime games right now. College basketball's on fire, but I'm not. I'm officially have a 3-day losing streak here. Was able to make up a little bit of it last night with few victories, 2 in the NBA last night. We did have Pacers and Pistons premium pick under in that one. I did give out the Pacers. You guys went against me in that one, but I had the Pacers on the road over the Pistons last night. I did have one other premium winner with the Sacramento Kings should have gotten there for most players. The game did touch 5, certainly land 5, mostly 4.5s, I think, at game time there. So Sacramento got the money last night for me in that game against the Rockets. We also had the Clippers here on the show yesterday to blow out the Blazers there, and that indeed was the case. And hey, we got home with the Wizards yesterday with those points against the Suns in the battle of feudal teams, it feels like right now. So, all right, let me say hello to some folks, including Joe here, who's with us on the coverage last night. And Cash Kane's here today. I want to say good morning to Tom and Thomas Lewis, my right-hand man here. Like this video, subscribe to our channel, Sports Money, here on YouTube, fastest growing sports betting channel. Subhumans here today. We do have a modest little soccer card here for Friday fixtures, including one in Serie A, one in La Liga, 3 games tonight in Mexico for me. Man, my Tijuana Xolos got a tie last night with America. That's about as good as we can fare against those guys. Also, one in Germany today, a nice one with Dortmund at Frankfurt, and 2 in League One in France as well. All right, Nick Candy's here. Nunya had a great night last night. We had a fun night with Nunya joining us on the stream. Stole the show last night. We're going to see more Nunya, I have a feeling, on the Sports Money Network. Here's our tops here today. Good morning. Toucans here with EuroLeague action. I don't know if this was today or yesterday. This might be a play here today in EuroLeague with that might have been yesterday. Is that today? I'm trying to see here. Oh yeah, there they are. They're playing Bologna. There it is, Bologna. Bayern Munich -6, 166.5. A first quarter bet there. And also Toucans ready to roll with AHL. You guys are more crazy than I am here with looking at some of these outer leagues, but I love that kind of coverage here in our chat. A little something for everybody here in this one. How about some AHL action? Everyone knows my team in the AHL is San Diego Gulls. All right, Joe W's here today. Sir Mackey's ready to roll. Alvin's here, thank you. Robert as well. T. Moss, these are the chat all-stars. Hello, stars. Getting ready for our coverage here tonight. Old E as well. And thank you, Toucan. This is a fire picks here. I don't care if they win or lose. I'm ready to roll on some of those. All right. Anyways, want to touch a few here in NHL last night with our picks here. Ended up a sub 500 day. How did this happen? But we did have some winners here, included Columbus here on the show over San Jose yesterday. Yeah, we took a favorite there, but we also had the unders, our premium pick with San Jose and Columbus. Also had a premium pick on the under in Washington and Ottawa. It was a 1-0 final. In overtime, it was 0-0 after regulation. So, well, hit one there for sure. Also, we had the Ducks on the puck line over the Lightning yesterday. Got that one home. Want to shout out Mikey Money. He had the Flyers over the Islanders last night. They finally kind of burst the Islanders bubble a little bit, or got over the hump against the Islanders anyway. In that one, we did see some wild comebacks, so all throughout. Also, I had the under with the Kraken and the Jets as a play here on the show. And also, Mikey and I teamed up for a winner, the Mikey Money special with Flames and Blues game to go under last night in a 4-1 victory, I think it was, for the Blues. Also, I did have the Blackhawks and the Predators here on the show as a winner. Montreal and Dallas, we all had that one also. I had it as a premium pick winner, and Mikey went with that one as well on his show, as well as I had the Canadians on the puck line in that one. And pretty fun day of hockey, but wasn't able to bring it home quite with my premium picks. So hopefully get a day in these 2 games. Definitely have some picks here. James Parham, hello. All right, you can get my best plays every day, including today, over at winnable.com. You can click the QR code in the lower right hand corner of the screen. That'll take you to the page that you see there on the far left. It'll have my picture on it. It'll have some options there to go through. You can subscribe for free to receive some plays. I'm going to try to hit this tennis card today. This is very manageable today, so I think I can get into some real tennis picks here instead of just firing away like a degenerate. But we did have some winners on the show last night. If Naomi Osaka got there when Belinda Bencic got there when Naomi Osaka had to retire last night. Man, I just saw a great 5-setter as well just a short time ago that ended in a win actually for Jack Draper over Alexander Vukic, the Australian. Took 2 tiebreakers there at the end as Draper fought back to beat Vukic. We saw Coco Gauff crush last night over Layla. Also, Danilovic from the Czech Republic over from Serbia, over Jesse Pegula last night in straight sets and really dominated there yesterday. Joker in straight sets, he wins as well. So late action at the Australian Open, and I'll have some. I think I like this card here. There's some hot matches for sure tonight in Australia, including my man Taylor Fritz, a big $7 favorite over Gael Monfils. So check it out. You can also get my other picks behind the paywall there for $4 a day, $8 a month, $8 a week, or $20 a month when you use the promo code STEAM at checkout. All right. Thanks for listening to that. And we'll go back to the chat a little bit, but I did want to cover some of the exciting college basketball last night. In case you missed it, late night action last night with a Hawaii game. Might have went off for some of you on the East Coast, but it was Cal State Northridge rocking Hawaii 83-60 in an under last night. Northridge dominated against the Rainbows out on the islands. But the big one, I think, last night, Oregon State in overtime beats Gonzaga. Interestingly, Oregon State has beaten Gonzaga 13 straight times, and maybe it shows where we know the Zags truly stand in the big picture of college basketball, even though I often ride their banner around here a little bit. They got out-rebounded big time, and the Beavers got that impressive win. The Beavers move into the West Coast Conference this year and go ahead and beat Gonzaga at home, no doubt, but 97-89 did take overtime. We had the over here on the show yesterday. Saw some exciting action too. How about Minnesota hitting that 3-pointer, that 40-footer or so at the buzzer by Garcia in the win over Michigan. So 2 teams on the road as road favorites lose, including that one and Temple over Memphis, 88-81. Team Steam consensus rolled with that one. I had them, you had them. Temple with the win over Memphis yesterday. We had them for sure here on the show. Also, it was Rutgers knocking off Nebraska 85-82. But some of these wild upsets last night, UTEP knocked off Liberty as an 8-point dog. Cal Davis won as a 6-point dog against Cal Poly. LMU won. We had that one here on the show yesterday. Said take LMU over Santa Clara, and they did just fine in a 57-54 victory yesterday. So upsets kind of galore there, it felt like. And also Northwestern beat Maryland, another pick we had here on the show. Joe had the total over in that one, and it went way over as Northwestern beat Maryland 76-74. Northwestern held on, actually. Went overtime. They were ahead by 10, but held on for the win. And more overtimes, though, yesterday, just left and right, it felt like. With a lot of these games. Already talked about 2 of them, but Kennesaw beat Sam in overtime, 75-69 yesterday. And also Edwardsville over Tennessee State in 2 overtimes, 87-80. And Georgia Southern beat Coastal 88-87. So college basketball is going to be pretty good here, pretty fun as we kind of move in once we get out of these last football games here, 8 games. We'll be focusing in, getting ready for March Madness. So that's where we stand in, the sports betting world a little bit when you get into this month. All right. Say hello to a few more folks here in the chat. We'll just start the show. Why not? Looks like it's slowed down there in the chat. You got Johnny Walker here today. You got Billy Eagle Flyer, and you got Rye Cape in the chat. All right. Put yesterday aside here and give me some winners in this one on this short card. Maybe that is the key here as we get into our NBA coverage. So just one more thing I think here. Like I said, I haven't found any odds for Unrivaled yet, and maybe I'm already talked about it too much. Maybe you're not interested in it, but the favorite to win now, the rosters are easily available, but there's the Phantom, the Mist, sounds like a soft drink, Lunar Owls, I'm not kidding, Vinyl, Laces, and Rose, but those teams are dotted with the biggest names in women's professional basketball. The Phantom is the favorite, 3-1. The Mist, 7-2. The Lunar Owls are plus 380. Vinyl, plus 480. Laces, 5-1. And Rose, 6-1. It's a 3-on-3 league on a smaller than normal court, but it's full court. And each team has 6 players. Some of them have 5 if they have an injured player. I don't think they bring up another player, and maybe there's some hardships that could occur there that they can fix their roster to make sure they have enough players. And then they play 7-minute quarters until the fourth quarter when they turn it into a target ending where they next one to get 11 points in the fourth quarter and reach a target score just wins the game. There's no overtime. And the games are about an hour long. So just be a 2-hour program each night on TNT and True TV for the next 3 months or so with this 3-on-3 league. And again, this is an Olympic sport as well. So a little bit different, though, with the full court and everything, but still the 3-on-3 concept. All right. I want to talk NBA basketball. Here, the Lunar Owls, we could make a grunge band or something here, or maybe, some kind of the Lunar, maybe that should be our favorite team. So the Lunar Owls, who's on that team? All right. I think I do have the roster here. The Lunar Owls. Are we going to adopt a team here right now with the Lunar Owls? It's got, I don't know. It's got Skylar on the team. Courtney Williams. I can't go wrong there. Alicia Gray. Cameron Brink is injured, but that team is owned by Nafisa Collier. In fact, one of the matchups tonight, Shakira Austin's the other player on the Lunar Owls. So one of the matchups tonight is the Lunar Owls against the Mist. These two are two of the teams that have the primary player owners of the league. Collier and Stewart are some of the highest paid players. All players also are involved in ownership of the league, even though there's a lot of big time money in the league, and that's why they're getting paid so much. So these players don't have to go overseas in the off season, and the TV will pay for the rest. You figure with the contract like that. So, all right, the Lunar Owls might be the official team here of the morning steam, right? Lunar. I mean, I know that's night, but we start our show when it's still at night, and we're kind of who are they gonna all the games are played in Hialeah, Florida. It's a neutral site venue right now, and I don't know, I think they might go out later on to some arenas, I'm not sure, but right now it's a special, not a bubble necessarily, but kind of a bubble. Okay, if anybody is signed up in the chat with any comments here, they are eligible to win our consensus parlay today. Hopefully we get someone to win here. Lunar Owls, we're going to get some gear and everything. Jermaine is here. He hasn't missed the coverage of the Unrivaled League yet. He's very stoked about this. All right, Jermaine's here. We could start the NBA coverage. All right, the Magic will take on the Celtics tonight here. Look, we're happy with the Magic right now and where they're headed and what they're doing. They're still going to be big underdogs here to the Celtics tonight. I still proclaim that I have a handle on Nate's Celtics here, day of the day ins and day outs. We've lost a few here and there, but seems like every time we're right on with this Boston team. And we'll see tonight. What do you think? A 12-point spread here between these two teams. Orlando's been pretty strong, of course, 23-19 for the where they've been and how they ended up in that position. It sounds like a decent record. I'm sure it could have been better if they didn't have all the injuries. They have lost 3 of their last 4 games coming into this one, and they're the only ones really with injuries, it feels like, in this game. I think Boston's got about as clean a bill of health as you can get here. So see here for the Magic, you've got Suggs is out of this game. Harris is out of this game. Batadze is out of this game. Howard is out of this game. So you are missing some, supportive players here for sure on the Magic here. But they've still been very, very competitive, even through some far more serious injuries than that. And they've got their star players kind of, you want Wagner in there, obviously, but still have their Bancaro back here right now. So for me, it just feels like these are the roles that Boston doesn't. I don't want to compare it to some of the other roles, but maybe again here you got a Boston team that basically they're playing a back-to-back here starting today and continuing to tomorrow. So these are the ones that usually kind of let up a little bit. They don't go out and play as hard, knowing what they have to play a game on deck. So I kind of want to take these points here in this one. Oops, let me put the total up there. I think it's about 210 here right now. 211.5, maybe even 212 here at some spots. And I'm showing 13 now, 13.5 here. So I don't know if I'm into that, man. I think I want to try Orlando here at this price. I just think the Celtics know that they have to play tomorrow. I don't know if they're going to be in blowout mode. Yeah, I'm worried about the Magic's bench a little bit here, but again, do they have the fortitude? Sometimes they play at pace. I'm talking about Boston. They're not dumb here. And so let's see what we have. Thomas, I thought you were kidding with me half the time. I don't worry about that. You are a luxury in the chat for me, Thomas. I mean, I can't believe the way you guys support this show so much. It makes me feel like I gotta come here every day too, and it motivates me now in my life. Man, this show is my life. I think that's great. Okay, Orlando here for Thomas, starting us off. And looks like Jermaine's got a pass here on this one, but he's just saying in general, fade Boston. I don't know about, when the chips are down, I'm probably still going to want to, back Boston here. Not necessarily talking about the potential of a Boston, Cleveland, Eastern Conference Finals or anything like that, but when big games occur, I'm probably going to still look to them, and I think that's what kind of sometimes champion teams do. I think you're also seeing that from the Nuggets a little bit. Now, maybe we don't want to put the Nuggets up there right now totally, but when they still got the big man and they got some complementary pieces, they don't win all the games right now. You just got to get in. The old LeBron theory anyways, just make it. Boston's a little bit better than that for certain. They're not just playing, to get into the playoffs. They're playing for at least a round or two of home court advantage. So that's what Bry Cape says too. He says they just take too many games off, and but they have enough talent to kind of carry them to the win sometimes, and then they get burned sometimes too, like they did losing to Toronto in that game. So look, they are at home. They could smash here tonight, but I got to take the Magic here at plus 13.5 at this point. I maybe was even looking at it as a premium, but I'd be worried about the bench a little bit here. And Jermaine says, they still have those games. They did not cash, I think is what he's kind of saying there. Sometimes they get those wins and just don't get the money. Orlando's actually back to they're not really a great cover anymore, Orlando, as they were the start of the season, but still Boston's home spread record is 7-14 overall. So Boston Thomas is worried about I'm like mad at him or something. I don't know, Thomas. That's far from like I said, I'm so fortunate to have every single one of you here right now. We got 70 of you in here on a Friday, so I'm just lucky. All right, Fernando's going to lean to the over here. Robert likes the over as well. The Steam came in on the over. This one was as low as 210, and we're looking at says 211 here, 211 and a half there. I even see 212 at Bet Online a little bit. I don't know. I mean, these are under teams, I'm pretty sure, right? If you think about it, Orlando's gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall, but they are 9-9 to the over under. As an underdog, I only make sense of that because they're 8-17, I believe, or 8-16 to the under as favorites. And maybe we've come to think Orlando, it's hard to think of them as favored that many times, but maybe that's just the nature of their schedule here. Boston is 12-9 to the over at home right now. So I'm just going to take the side here and take the Madge. See here, we got. What did I say? No, Nate. I said Celtic smash. We showed it on the screen, and that's what I said. I mean, I countered that actually today. I'm countering you on this one for sure. But again, the other thing is, I guess maybe with Boston kind of coming off of a loss there, like they did against Toronto, they could be a little bit hungry to get a cover here. But I like I said, got to play tomorrow. It just feels like that's the way these guys operate. So, all right. And I don't know if maybe I'm not seeing it, Nate. All I saw was that Celtic smash and then this one. So what am I don't know. I hope it's all working. All right. Under Celtics blowout for Kane. And he says, White didn't show up for that game against the Raptors, and you need all the parts there. All right, 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Orlando's gone under in 6 of their last 8, and Boston's gone under in 5 of their last 6. So you got a series that goes under. These guys are trending under for sure, but the Steam came in on the over. You got to respect that, I think, a little bit. But all right, I think that's it for the Magic and Celtics. All right, well, we know the storylines here for easy for the beat writer here to write, but you don't want to just navigate to the cat angle all the time, but it's hard to avoid when you got the Timberwolves and the Knicks tonight. The Knicks favored here by 4.5, and the total here is down to 217.5 on some widely reported steam that came in. Got the there we go. Oh, there we go. All right, you got the Knicks coming in here, 27-15 right now. Timberwolves, a couple games over 500 at this point. New York has covered 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams in New York. And that's basically 8 years worth of sample size, but still, the Knicks have had the better of it. Minnesota's won 5 of their last 7 on the road. They are coming in here off of a loss at home to Golden State last time out. They failed to cover in 3 straight games right now. The Knicks beat the Sixers 125-119, got the money in their last out, and New York has gone over in 4 of their last 5 games overall, and the Wolves have gone over in 8 of their last 11 overall. So just hope that Towns is going to be in there tonight. That does put the current question mark on the game. He's got a little thumb injury here, so he's on the injured list. But man, you'd think, barring really, you think he try to make this lineup here for sure tonight. For the Wolves, we've got a few guys out, including DiVincenzo, Shannon Jr., and Miller out for the Timberwolves here. So see what you guys have here. Still, you want them in the lineup, and it makes it kind of, oh, you just have to wait here. We're here in the morning, and we're not sure. And it does look a little bit like, there is a chance he could miss the game, but don't know if he necessarily would want to miss the game, right? All right, the Knicks are 24-18 against the spread this season. Minnesota 10-11 against the spread on the road. They are 4-2 against the spread as an underdog here. New York, they're also here on a back-to-back coming up here starting tonight. So we'll see. Or no, I'm sorry. It's the Timberwolves are on a back-to-back here right now starting tonight. So we'll see how that affects the Wolves coming into this one. Minnesota, this is a scenario where they really, really struggle, and that's coming off of a home loss. They are 0-13 against the spread in the last 13 games coming off of a home loss. This is a manageable number here for the Knicks. The spread may indicate that Towns, his questionable status, I think, is kind of reflected in it. So let's see what you guys say here with the Knicks and the Wolves tonight. Going to start it off here with Jermaine says, with or without him. I'm going to take the Knicks here tonight. I kind of do. I think the spot, so the status of Cat will be reflected certainly in the line. So I guess, like I said, you could just approach it as if you're going to take the Knicks here tonight, because that's kind of what I'm going to think I'm going to do right now. All right, AOD, thank you. AOD is here. Thank you, AOD. Super True here says Cat over in his points and rebounds. He'll make the lineup tonight. Super True thinks. And Fernando says, I took him last night at 3.5. So you do see a little move there, right? From 3.5 up to 4.5. That's got to be something to look at as well when you're trying to read the tea leaves a little bit with the injury status of Towns. And the Wolves struggle against the Eastern Conference teams. Jermaine says, our Tomps likes the Knicks here. Curtis is here today as well. All right, let's see what I already said what I'm doing. I'm taking the Knicks here, and I just got to take them right now because I'm not sure about the status of Cat, and I do like him in this role, though. However, I think that trend for me, the Wolves, just not really a team that bounces back very well off of a loss. So that's a bad streak when you consider how successful the Wolves have kind of been here. So, all right. I think that's it for me on this one. Let's move to the Raptors taking on the Bucks here tonight. The Bucks, another big double-digit favorite here. They're minus 11 here. And the total is 231, up to 231 here on some widely reported steam overnight. There we go. Maybe the move has come in a little bit on the Raptors here. We know the Bucks are kind of a team that, you put some double digits in front of them, and that's kind of where they kind of get in trouble. Of late, they have been able to get a few of these double-digit wins. We're just treating them like any time the Wolves can kind of the Bucks can kind of turn it on and get a win whenever they want, but is there really a reason to think that they are that kind of team? They've always been much, much better of late. A 2-game winning streak here coming in. They've had some other wins recently as well. Against the Spurs, they covered the spread. Orlando, they did not cover the spread. Then they lost to the Knicks, but came back to win and cover against Sacramento and against Orlando. Giannis is probable with his knee injury here. Also, Jackson is questionable. Middleton likely to play here, but there was some question whether or not he would need time off possibly. I'm not sure about that. Trent probable as well. So Quickly is out for the Raptors here, and Agbaji is questionable tonight in this one. So Toronto, they're in their best role as an underdog, 22-14 against the spread as a dog. That's where they've been seemingly most effective here for sure. They are just 4-6 against the spread in their last 10 games. Milwaukee subpar against the spread for sure at home and as a favorite by just a couple of games, but still not their best role either. So see what you guys have here in this one. Toronto does not win on the road, that's for sure. So I don't know, it'd be how tough to consider them on a money line play or anything like that. But Milwaukee just doesn't play well against sub 500 teams. It's just where they struggle is when they are large favorites. So they've been putting up some points here of late. Milwaukee is 6-4 to the over in their last 10. They've actually gone over in 4 straight games coming into this one. All right, I'm going to go to the chat here and see what you have with the Bucks here tonight. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under when playing here in Milwaukee. They've won 5 of their last 6 overall. They've also gone over in 5 of their last 6. So, started off here right now with the Raptors. And this one, take those points, says Cash Kane. I think Jermaine says go over with the Greek, or he gave out under with the Greek last time. Under with the Greek. And Thomas on Toronto here as well. Our Tomso says the under here. Fernando will lean to the under. I'm taking the Toronto Raptors here plus these points. I just feel like this is not the scenario that the Bucks seem to thrive in, laying double digits against a team that does cover spreads. So give me the Raptors here. All right, the Jazz are on the road against the Pelicans, and man, look at this. I mean, yes, the Jazz are having a rough season, but then they got healthy, started to play well again, covered some numbers, but now everybody's injured. And even the Pelicans are double-digit favorites against the Jazz here right now. That's how bad things are going. Sure, Zion's back, and he's looked okay, right, for sure. Jazz, though, here struggling now with all these injuries again, and here they are tonight. Nearly all the best players on the team missing the game. Kessler, Markkanen, Collins, all out tonight. Juzang, Potter, they're all out here. A big injury list right now for the Utah Jazz. Zion probable, BI still out with that bad ankle. And Herb Jones, we know he's been out here now for a week or so. And Murray is probable for New Orleans, key player, of course, there for the Pelicans. So it's still hard to lay 12 against a Jazz team, but when they've been minus their good players, that's kind of when they've failed to cover the spread. They lost last time pretty bad, 117-112 against Charlotte. They actually got the money in that one, but that may have been representative of how poor Charlotte has played. New Orleans isn't much better than them, right? With 10 wins, but both teams come in with just 10 wins here this season. Not a great game by any stretch, but see what you have here in this one. I think the injuries might be the story here with this game with this Jazz team right now, but can't ignore the fact they've covered 7 of their last 8 games on the road overall. They've also covered 6 of the last 7 meetings against the Pelicans. New Orleans is 4-1 against the spread in their last 5, and they might be playing as well as they have all season right now. So 15 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams in New Orleans have gone over. Let's go to the chat and see what we have here when the Jazz take on the Pelicans tonight. Going to start it off here. Oh, Toronto was a consensus play in that matchup with the Bucks. Great. All right. Cash Kane leaning to the under here in this one. Fernando's on the Jazz. He said, is Zion playing? I've got Zion in there for sure tonight. That's it from you guys on this one. Not much interest. A double-digit spread between bad teams and one team missing half of their starters, if not more. So I'll take the Pelicans to win this one by a dozen. What can you do? All right, next up, the Nuggets are going to take on the Heat here tonight. You got this one closely rated with the Heat, -1.5, 226.5. You know, we're moving ever so closer to the return of Jimmy Butler. You know, he's missed all that time. And, well, unless he gets traded before this one, we're going to see him on the court tonight. Awkward. So I don't know. Maybe they'll be remorseful. Maybe we'll hear from him, pre-game or post-game night, saying he was wrong and should be more of a team player. Right? You got to represent your people that you work with, right? I mean, you're not, you against the organization. You're still getting paid a lot of money. Why can't you show a little pride out there and try to, perform better? So I don't know. It just seems like drama follows certain people everywhere. People say I'm kind of a drama guy. Look at me, always looking for attention. So maybe I could kind of be like Jimmy Buckets, except without the hair. All right, let's talk about where these two teams stand coming into this one. Denver was on a bit of a winning streak, and they lost, of course, last time out in that somewhat high-profile matchup, getting blown out by Houston, 128-108, but they were winning and covering plenty of games before that as they've kind of gotten it together. Like I said, you think of the Celtics, you think of the Nuggets as kind of like championship caliber teams that they just don't blow them out all the time, and certainly it can happen. But the Heat was struggling without Butler right first, and with him too. But then he leaves the lineup. They kind of get their groove back. They win some games. They cover some games, like 3 in a row back there. Warriors, Utah. I guess they didn't get the money against Utah. It was a half a point. They missed the spread. But then Portland. And then, it's getting closer to Butler coming back. And all of a sudden they lose at the Clippers and the Lakers. Those are decently tough games on the road, but a place where they've kind of had success before. So you only wonder if it's going to be a disaster, right, when Butler returns tonight here against certainly a playoff caliber team like the Nuggets here. He need to get going for sure right now. I mean, they're just 500. So is he going to be around for a while and, just mess up chemistry or something like that? So, all right, we can get into it that way. Jokic is questionable here. It seems like he always makes the lineup, but of late he's missed a few for sure down the stretch here. So also for Jamal Murray, he is probable in this game. You got Aaron Gordon questionable. For the Heat, Bam probable. Jimmy's probable. And Richardson is out of this game. So go ahead in the chat. Let's see what you have. I don't know if I gave it away here, but I mean, I just feel like Mr. Trouble is back, and it'll probably be backfiring here for the Heat. Maybe we'll have more questions than we have answers when this one's done. Miami's lost 7 straight games at home to the Denver Nuggets, by the way, and they've also dropped the spread in 6 of their last 8 games overall. The only ones they covered were wins at Portland and the win at the Warriors. So usually these end up being high-scoring games when Denver plays these Eastern games on the road in the East, and the steam did come in on the over here. Right now it is 1.5 and 226 for the most part. So do you have an opinion here? Let's go to the chat and see what they have to say. Here's Matt D. This is The D stands for Denver, and he likes his Nuggets to win this one. Our Thomas is on the Nuggets here. Thomas is on the Nuggets. It looks like we're heading to consensus land. Robert's on the over here in this one. And Tom Regard, hello, nice to see you. Here's Fernando. He looks like he's going to be pulling for those Denver Stars. And Thomas says it's got to be a consensus here. Hey, if this one's a consensus, I mean, I like Denver in this game for sure. I think I laid out the reasons there, kind of why. Yeah, I mean, series history doesn't help, doesn't hurt either. Even though they meet infrequently, Denver's had their number, and these are teams with strong, consistent rosters for the most part. All right. Fernando says that they could sit some players here. Jermaine's going over in this one, and I'll just take I'll take the over in this one with Jermaine. We're on consensus. Let me not waste a pick here that I can give out. I was gonna go over as my premium, but let me just go for it right now and take the over in this one. Consensus is on the Nuggets, so I'm gonna play the Nuggets with you guys. And Jermaine says they don't play well, though, on these East Coast swings a little bit. That's for sure. All right, next up, another kind of a clunker here, a little bit, a zonk. If you remember, Let's Make a Deal, do they still call it that on Let's Make a Deal when they'd have the donkey behind the curtain? All right, the Bulls are favored in this one by 4.5. I hope I didn't screw these schedule times up again. I know there were 2 time changes here today. No, I think we're right on here. 2 games got switched here, including this one is now at 8:10 Eastern. Oh, I think this was the original time. I hope got that right. Anyway, the Bulls. Oh, it was originally scheduled as a later game for the TV game, right, at 9:40 and 6:40, and now it's 8:10 and 5:10. I think I got it. And the Memphis game, we'll get to it still. Has been moved. There were 2 time changes today. If you're looking at a rotation, maybe I should just not look at a rotation because that screws me up, and you guys are probably not even know what I'm talking about. All right, but we do, we follow the rotation around these parts. Hornets and Bulls, you got the Bulls favored here by 4.5. The total 235 and a half or so in this one. The steam did come in on the under here. I don't know if it's necessarily reflective, although it seems much higher than the original send-out numbers for sure. So I don't know where the Sharps might be headed necessarily in this one. The Bulls come in with a 3-game losing streak here, failing against Atlanta, New Orleans, and the Kings. They did go 0-2-1 against the spread in that span here of late. For the Hornets, they are off that win against Utah by 5 points. They did not cover 5.5 in that one. And they did get some covers recently, despite losing at Cleveland and at Detroit, to both kind of the same type of opponent. They were getting more points than that for sure, because the Bulls aren't as good as those teams. But nonetheless, the Bulls will be favored in this one. They're not terrific against the number. We know that. The Hornets are actually in the role where they do have some success, 18-13-2 as an underdog against the spread. These 2 teams are hardcore unders here of late for sure right now. Maybe that's what the steam was all about. You got Charlotte. They've gone under in 8 of their last 10. The Bulls have also gone under in 8 of their last 10. The Bulls are 2-9 to the under as a favorite, and Charlotte's 10-22 to the under as an underdog. So all the numbers point to that under position here. Bulls, it's actually 6 straight games as a favorite. The Bulls have gone under here right now. So Chicago has won the last 8 meetings between these 2 teams, covering the spread in 7 of those 8 meetings. The teams have already met twice this season, with the Bulls winning 115 to 108 at Charlotte, and they also won at home here, 109 to 95 as a 5.5 point favorite. So it's been a Bulls dominated series. We'll go to the chat, see what you have in this one between Charlotte and Chicago. 5 straight, actually, under in this. Let's see. 5 straight under in this series at Chicago. And 5 straight covers overall by the Bulls in the series. Charlotte's gone under in 8 of their last. Oh, 8. We said that. Okay, here we go. Cash Kane here. He's got the Bulls and the under. Wine Time's here today. He's going to take the shot on the Hornets there on the money line. And Robert's on the Hornets here as well. And Jermaine wants to go over here, says it's high for a reason. Yeah, I mean, if you look at, two teams, hardcore unders, and you still have this high spread, right? Or this high total. It's pretty interesting, actually. 235 or so. Up to 236. Now, I can't even get away with it. I've got to put the 236 up there for sure. Just a big, big spread here right now with teams that are really, big time under teams. But maybe it's more about the matchup. They did go under in their last meeting. Was 224. It went 223. And the other game here in Chicago, as I mentioned, was a 204 points and went well under 232. So, all right. Guess I'll make a pick here. Fernando likes the under here in this one, and I'm going to take the under as well. Maybe they're fooling me a little bit here, but I'm going to say 2 teams that are going under a lot. Yeah, I know it's going to be paced up a little bit here with these guys, and maybe the injury report can give a little bit of sense of where we stand, because there are some players on there. Giddy questionable here. Giddy questionable here. Let's see. Horton Tucker questionable as well. Sanogo is out of this game. White is probable. Dosunmu's probable. I think we saw him already last game looking okay, right? So Miller questionable for the Hornets. Diabate questionable as well. And Williams is probable. All right. I'll take the under in this one. The Thunder are going to take on the Mavs here. The Thunder on the road, an 8-point favorite in this one. I think it's lower than that, though, now, isn't it? Nope, still an 8-point favorite here, maybe even 8.5 here at some spots right now, as some of the DraftKings up to 8.5. Dallas is juiced, but nonetheless, the move seems to be on the Thunder a little bit in this one. The widely reported steam came in on the Thunder. It also came in on the over, and we're looking here at still 225 or so, up 1.5 from when I typed these in after watching that Hawaii game last night. And let's see what you guys going to do here in this one. You got the Thunder coming in off the game, of course, last night. And what can you say? I mean, they looked absolutely terrific, but that certainly could be a letdown situation. Still, you're going to play the Dallas Mavericks, but the injuries are the story here currently, of course, with the Mavericks, with Doncic out, but Kyrie in. Here, Lively out, though, however, for Dallas. And Hartenstein, that key injury that everyone's been talking about for the Thunder coming into this one. So maybe Dallas here. Look, with Kyrie, I just think when he's in there, it's not an improvement necessarily the way he plays sometimes. I don't want to be critical, but the Mavericks here struggled again once he's kind of returned here to the lineup. A little bit before that, too, but they failed to cover in 4 straight games. They lost 3 straight, 2 of them to Denver, and then the game to New Orleans. Here, Oklahoma City, meanwhile, they've won 4 in a row. covered 3 out of those 4 with a push since losing that first go round with the Cavaliers. They're just a team on a mission, and they just are on fire right now. It's no other way you can put it. So let's see tonight when they are laying the points on the road against Dallas here. Oklahoma City's won 14 of 15 games coming in. Art Thompson's on the Thunder. Fernando says, smash that Thunder. Robert McCormick's on the Thunder here. I'm going to take the Thunder. Got all my faves here. And I'll just take the Thunder to roll in this one. They're a great spread team, too. Don't forget, they've covered 8 of their last 10 games with the one push I mentioned. And Dallas, they're 1-9 against the spread in the last 10 games overall, not to mention that rough streak that they are going on. Now, Dallas has beat Oklahoma City in 5 of the last 7 meetings between the two teams. 6 of the last 8 meetings here in Dallas have gone over the total. Oklahoma City's gone over in 5 straight. Dallas is 7-13 to the under at home right now. So that might be it from you guys in the chat here. Maybe a tough NBA schedule. We did get 2 consensus plays out. We're not done. We got another couple of games here, but nonetheless. Yep, Dallas just has those moments where they cannot score, it feels like, right? Oklahoma City's covered 8 straight also as a favorite right now. So give me Oklahoma City. I'll keep rolling with them here. Feel like we're giving out some pretty solid plays a little bit. All right. I don't know if it's a consensus, Thomas. You had Art Thompson on the Thunder. You got Fernando on the under. You got Robert on the under. You got me on the Thunder. It did feel like a Thunder. It was pretty close. About as close to the consensus. I think it was 4-0. Anybody on Dallas? Johnny Walker's on the Thunder. So it's a consensus play, Thomas. If you missed it, I'll just say it. It does feel like everyone's on the Thunder in the chat here, laying these points on the road to Dallas. All right, got a couple more here. Grizzlies on the road at the Spurs. Grizzlies a favorite 2.5 here now, and the total is 239 or so, maybe 238.5 here right now. The Grizzlies have been alternating wins and losses here of late, but this is a series that really has been dominated. As we look at the division game, Memphis has won 10 straight times between the Spurs. And if you think about it, it's kind of been the same. Yeah, Ja's in, Ja's out, whatever. But we know Memphis is kind of even better than just Ja. And these rosters are kind of growing up together right now in their recent surge here. Yeah, Memphis has been the better team, but we know San Antonio has been dramatically improved since those bad year or two that landed them Victor Wembanyama. So San Antonio, they just haven't fared well against these guys. The teams are kind of growing up here together, it feels like. And now they're kind of struggling a little bit again here. They did fail last time out with a loss to Memphis, 129-115 2 nights ago. So they were only 2.5-point dogs in that one as well. So maybe that result is reflected in this line a little bit, but this is a series where Memphis gets it done on the road. They've gone over in 8 of their last 9 on the road as well. And just San Antonio, they did, beat the Lakers on the road, but they were getting beat up by teams before that: Milwaukee, Chicago, Denver. For the Grizzlies here, they're in a great role as a favorite here, 19-8 against the spread, 13-7 against the spread on the road. San Antonio, we think of them as a team that's covering a little bit, but still a little bit sub 500 as a home dog. All right. Here comes some comments for sure on this one. A little bit better game tonight for sure. This is a late ESPN game. And we've got Spurs for Cash Kane. He also likes the under here. He says, Jermaine says, just another day at the office for Memphis. Rye Cape says, Ja just dominates when he's in here against the San Antonio Spurs. In fact, Ja's scored 26 or more in 6 of his last 7 appearances against San Antonio. Robert's on Memphis here. And Thomas is on Memphis here as well. All right. I don't see anybody yet. I don't know if there's anybody on the Spurs either. Wow. Jermaine, always looking for that angle. He says, "What are the TV games? Are they over under when the games are on ESPN?" All right, sounds a pretty solid pick here by you guys. So I see enough people on Memphis. You don't need me to jump on board here and just agree with everybody right now. So I will take the over in this game between Memphis and San Antonio. I know it's a massive number here for sure. And San Antonio, they're, certainly an under team. Fernando did lean to, oh, look, Thomas said Memphis is a consensus play. Wow. We got some consensus in the NBA, don't we? And Cash Kane says, same game the other day. Memphis was the dog in that. No, Memphis was the favorite. Memphis was still the favorite in that game at San Antonio by 2.5 points, right? This is just the same game, but Memphis, I think they were 2.5 on that day. I could be wrong. Okay. So, hey, consensus is on Memphis. I'll take the over in this one. Memphis has gone over 16-5 on the roads right now. So, pretty heavy trend to the over with Memphis right now. San Antonio is, make no mistake, pretty much, a slightly under team, but by no means playing a lot of overs here, other than a late where they've had overs in their last 2 games. But all right, hello to Donut Silks today. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the 2 teams have gone over as well. San Antonio's gone under in 5 of their last 7. All right. Next up is the final game of the NBA card here with Brooklyn taking on the Lakers. Lakers a double-digit favorite here in this one. Hey, Lakers finally got the win last time out and got the money against Miami after losing 3 straight games right in the middle of the firestorms there a little bit too. I don't know. That's kind of an angle for sure, right? You don't want to be going through all that, especially what the Lakers went through with Coach Redick there for Brooklyn here. Certainly having some struggles as well. They just scored 67 points in their last game. I think some bozo on YouTube said he liked the Nets in that one, but they were ill-equipped to be ready for that. Clippers right now. And hey, Clippers are doing pretty darn well here at this point, so no problem there. Brooklyn, meanwhile, however, did beat Portland in a little bit of a surprise on the road. We did have them in that role in that game as a 3.5 point dog, and they also got the money. Oh no, they failed against Denver. That's right. They were 19-point dogs. So look, this is the 5th game of a road trip, but I don't know. To me, it's like another situation where the Lakers. I think they are one of those teams that may have trouble blowing a team out here. So Brooklyn has covered 5 of the last 6 meetings. Brooklyn's won 5 of the last 6 times they've come in to play the Lakers. Now that goes back, for the pandemic there a little bit. So you did have a little bit of better roster there in the day, back in the day. But still, Brooklyn's had some success here against the Lakers. They suck, but the Lakers, can they really find what it takes to get a win by a dozen here at least? Lakers have gone over in 7 of their last 10 and 5 of their last 7 games at home right now. Brooklyn 13-11 to the over on the road. Let's go to the chat here in this one. Lakers tonight. This is just always a Nets win, usually when they come to town. It's been 4 straight games. Basically, the last 4 years here in LA, Brooklyn's actually won the game. So let's see here. It's going to be Thomas with the Lakers. Cash Kane says, got AD here. He'll go off in this matchup. The Lakers stars tonight are both probable for the game. DFS is doubtful for this one. Cam Thomas is definitely out right now with that hamstring problem. Cam Johnson questionable for Brooklyn. Ben Simmons probable. D'Lo probable. Can paint your own Revancha there. Jermaine says he'll take the Nets. Flanay's on Brooklyn. Roberts on the under here in this one. Jermaine's on. Oh, he said he's on the Nets. And Jermaine, you are so great in the chat, Jermaine. You don't have to rewrite, and unless you're just great with your keyboard and everything. I can read. I can understand. I Tage the Nets is interpreting it to I take the. I don't want you to waste your valuable time having to retype it. I can. I may be slow, but all right. What else did we have here? Nets team total. Thank you, Jermaine, for everything, man. All right, Fernando, team total under. How about that? Damon's here. Has got the over. And Cash Kane liking the over too. Hello to Nut Flush Allen here today. And he says, let me see if I can totally get this. He says those high totals will never, as in NBA, will not bet. He will not bet them. He will not bet those high pre-flops. He will wait for the moment because very, I don't say rarely bite, right? I mean, well, I guess it would be sometimes you'll get a good start, sometimes you won't, but I think he's saying that if you do get a slow start in a high scoring game, you're still going to get plenty of points with a little bit of a discount, and that sometimes some rough shooting maybe is still not going to be able to supplant the tempo that is going to occur the rest of the game. Hope I got that right. All right, Nets do well against the West, Jermaine says. And Damon goes over. Rye Cape says it's not a great game. It's not a great schedule, is it? Nets, I think that's why. It's funny, though. We did have some consensus here. Damon says, how about my Ravens as we get ready for tonight? And what a way to end the weekend, right? When you think about the matchups this weekend, and that game is going to be off the hook, as we used to say. That's going to be a wild one for sure. I mean, I don't think there's any way around that the Bills and the Ravens are going to be game of the year. I'm going to call it right now. All right. Thanks, Nut Flush. All right. Well, I might be on the total here in this game. I think I want to go over actually here. I think I do. So give me the over here tonight with Brooklyn and the Lakers. The widely reported steam did come in on the under in this game. So kind of fading the sharps here, it feels like a little bit. All right. Thomas says, that's why I'm taking Buffalo. That's why I'm taking the Buffalo Bills. He likes them at home in a wild one. Just can't wait for the games here. They all feel like pretty decent matchups, especially the end of the last game. All right, we got two games in the National Hockey League. Let's pick it up here and go to our matchups here tonight with the Penguins taking on the Sabres here in this one. Nedeljkovic, Luukkonen here in this one. We only got two games to look at, of course, and there'll be 15 games or something tomorrow for sure, right in the middle of 136 college basketball games. But hey, that's what Hockey Night's all about. So let's get into this one with the Sabres at home. They're still in last place, but I don't know. Pittsburgh, they're a little bit better than them record-wise, with the Penguins have lost 3 in a row here all of a sudden, and kind of giving some back big time. They're a poor underdog for sure at 11-23 coming into this one, and you got a Sabres team that they've won 6-3-1 in their last 10 games overall. They seem to be taking the action here. They're not much worse than the Penguins here, record wise. And Buffalo's coming off a win against Carolina, 4-2 last night, or 2 nights ago anyway. Pittsburgh here. Let's see here. 2-5-3 in their last 7 games overall as well. So check the goalies out here and see what we have on a Friday. All right, right now we got none of the goaltenders are confirmed here. In fact, some of the sites are showing no, I think that's what everybody has as the matchup here tonight in this one. So let's see what you have here with these two. Pittsburgh taking on Buffalo. It's been a Buffalo series for sure when these two teams have met of late. Buffalo's covered 6 straight puck lines at home against Pittsburgh. And let's go to the chat here, see if you're going to play hockey tonight. Got some more hockey bettors here than basketball tonight. Here's Cash Kane likes Penguins puck line and the over tonight. And Philly Eagle Flyer likes the over here. Rye Cape says Penguins are struggling a little bit for sure, and that the Sabres have looked pretty decent of late. In fact, the Penguins kind of Buffalo's 9-2 against the puck line last 11 meetings, but Pittsburgh has won 14 of the last 20 meetings here in Buffalo. Robert likes the Sabres as well. His team total over for Philly Eagle Flyer. Tremaine taking Buffalo here. A lot of Buffalo support. Cash Kane had a big-time SGP, it looks like, in there yesterday. Great job. All right, man, I kind of like Buffalo here with you guys as well. Here comes Philly Eagle Flyer with some. Thomas says Buffalo's a consensus play. So, all right, I'll leave it at that. I think did I say I was on Buffalo? I mean, I definitely agree, but maybe I can. I'm just going to agree with you guys today. I think I have a premium actually, so I better just roll with my pick as agree with. We don't have a lot of hockey, and I need a premium pick. And well, as I do like Buffalo, I'll just go out there with the consensus today. And I feel good enough on the total here in this one. For the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. They definitely trend over for sure this year. These two teams combined 51 and 31 to the over this season. But of late, they've definitely, I think league-wide, we're seeing the scores go down here a little bit. Now, Buffalo is 15-5-2 to the over at home and 10-3-2 to the over as a favorite. But as this one keeps trickling up and start to see these 6.5s like at Bovada right now, I think it's probably going to be a little. I'm going to say it might be a little bit too high. Now it could end up 3-3, of course, like every other game in this, like these two teams. But I might just end up here going low. Our Thompson's on the Sabres here as well. Right, Thomas? There are only 2, and I'd like to try to, I've sold a pick or 2 around these parts. So, okay, here we go. Next up, Golden Knights taking on the Hurricanes. Got a good one here for sure as our co-feature here. This one's the NHL Network game. I guess this is the featured game here tonight with the Hurricanes at home. They're 17-5. There's no line on this game apparently, or the producer forgot to type it in. Let's call it $1.55 or so. Could be $1.60 at some of the square books right now. Total about 615, 620 or so here with the Golden Knights and the Canes tonight. Vegas on the road here, so they're not as solid obviously on the road as they are at home, and Carolina has lost two straight actually coming into this game to Buffalo and to Anaheim, so that's not impressive. But nonetheless, they seem to have such a strong home ice advantage. They've won 17 of 22, as I said, at home this season. They've also gone over in five of the last six meetings between these two teams here in Carolina. So I'll see what you guys have in this one. Uh, Vegas is awesome, but it does feel like it is a tough matchup at Carolina here. Here comes some plays maybe from you guys. Philly Eagle Flyers got some soccer in there. And Golden Knights here for Cash Kane. Likes the Golden Knights on the puck line here in this one. I'm going to take Carolina. I'm not fading Cash Kane. He's getting the goal and a half, but I'm going to take Carolina here. I'm going to just play the big favorite. I say big favorite. I try not to go too heavy on you're not going to see a $2 or $3 from me, but I'll try the money line here in this one against the Golden Knights. Still a tough team, and 11-6 on the road for Vegas, so that's not bad. They are favored quite often with their rotation of schedule on some of their matchups, but all right. Let me get it on here with the let me get it with the Hurricanes here. Not much from you guys in this one. I'm probably going to be on the total here in this game as a premium. Now, Vegas has gone over in 7 of their last 10, but Carolina has gone under in 7 of their last 10 games. And in general, maybe just a slight trend to the under with these two teams. So, all right. That's it for hockey. Have to find something else to do tonight. Okay, let's go to the college basketball card here tonight. I've tried to look at about 7 games here right now and see why not here. We're doing fine on time, and if you're serious about sports betting, let's at least try to talk a few minutes about each game here and some teams that maybe don't get a full time to focus on here, especially tomorrow going into a Saturday where we're not going to be able to talk about anybody. But Ohio is going to open up the card here at Akron tonight, and a pretty decent game for sure between these two teams in the MAC. They're the early start here, obviously, today. And you look at this, current standings in the MAC right now. You've got Ohio and you've got Akron, both teams undefeated. Miami O also 4-0. Akron's actually both teams are 4-0 here. So this is the game of the year so far in the Mid-American Conference. Both teams are on a winning streak coming into this one, but it's just a matter of laying a little bit of a number here. But hey, this is going to be a hot matchup for sure here tonight. Ohio is struggling big time against the spread. I mean, they are a bit I would say overrated for sure, but still they've got, top players like Creighton and Pavletsky as well. And meanwhile, Akron, they're more of a team that, they're team oriented, it feels like, or team based, with the Johnson and Okonkwo. So just a good matchup here tonight. You got Ohio's offense, pretty decent offense. And I think both teams here, you see the total here did get steamed up from 159 to 160 or so here right now. I'm seeing mostly 160s here. So, and the line's actually down to 2.5. Let me update that on the screen. There we go. But to conclude though, Ohio U 1-8 against the spread on the road this season. Including of course some of their neutral site games. Let's see what some of those were. Neutral site games against Middle, against Texas State as well. They failed against Marshall, but they've already won 2 in a row though. here. Didn't cover one of them, but still one on the road against Central by 2, one on the road at Buffalo after a rugged start that saw them just 1-4 after their first 5 games. So they have kind of kicked it in gear here. Now Akron is much stronger. They are undefeated here at home, just 3-4 though against the spread at home. So they win. They don't always get it done, but nonetheless, good game here with Akron and Ohio. So let me know if you like this one. I hope not too crazy here picking this game out. Obviously, it's a pretty hot game. So, all right, let's see what you guys have. Akron has won 5 of the last 6 times here at home against Ohio, and they've won 5 straight at home. Talking about the Zips here. 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under here in Akron. All right. Here we go. And Jermaine says, take Akron. And Fernando's on Ohio. Cash Kane's on Ohio as well. Take the money line there, he says. Our Tomps is on Ohio. There's some support. Jermaine was on Akron, though, no doubt. And Akron and under here for Johnny. There's some Akron support here for sure. Okay. Robert likes the over here in this one. James Parham likes the over here as well. I'm going to go over here in this one. These guys are going over for sure this season, right? I mean, this has a feel of both teams reaching the 80s here. It feels like Jermaine's saying it. He says this is the game of the day right here on such a crummy schedule. It feels like Akron's 7-2 to the over as a favorite this season. Meanwhile, Ohio, they're 6-3 to the over on the road and 2-0 to the over as a dog. Thomas says it's consensus play. Is it Ohio? You as a consensus play, or is it the over? Maybe it is Ohio. I didn't see. Well, we did have Jermaine on Akron, right? But that was pretty much it. Or let's see. Jermaine was on Akron, and so was Johnny Walker. All right, Super True got his winners there, I think, yesterday. Number 6 consensus was one of the plays there. Thomas will let me know. I think it's Ohio, though. But, man, you guys are on this Ohio team to get it done here. Can they? Can they? Okay. So that's the CBS Sports Network early start here. Ohio. Okay, thank you, Thomas. All right. Consensus on Ohio. Someone's going to get a 6-teamer here tonight. And I want to thank everybody. The hits have been, the views of the show have been really strong. So, hey, hopefully we'll get someone will get a shot at a big 6-teamer or more. We've got some more games here to look up right now and see how we go. I'm going to try VCU at St. Joe's here in this one. You got the graphics man for getting another line here. You got to wonder if, I'm not losing my mind. VCU on the road, 1.5 point favorite here in the total, about 141.5 right now. There we go. All right, there we go with VCU coming in here, 13-4. St. Joe's, 11-6 right now coming into this one. All right, in the A-10 standings here right now, you have currently Mason on top, followed by VCU, a half a game back right now. St. Joe's is 2-2, 11-6 coming in. This is the only A-10 game of the night. VCU has won 3 straight coming into this one with covers against St. Louis and Loyola of Illinois, but they did fail against Fordham as a 12-point favorite, laying 17 points. St. Joe's dumped Loyola 93-57 as a 5-point favorite last time out, smashed them, and that ended a streak of not covering the spread and in a 2-game losing streak as well. But VCU, they're 9-5 as a favorite so far this season. St. Joe's is 2-2 as a dog, and let's see what you guys maybe can go with here in this one. VCU and St. Joe's. VCU has won 5 straight meetings between these two teams and gone 6-1 against the spread in the last 7 meetings between the teams. St. Joe's here, a little bit of a good rush at home right now, having won 5 straight. And VCU, despite being 13-4, is 1-2, I believe, on the true road this season. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under, and pretty big number, but I don't know. St. Joe's has definitely been in some games where they've scored more points than this, it seems like. So, okay. See if you guys like this game today between VCU and St. Joe's. Yep, Spoon's Bet is here. Nice to have Spoon's Bet. Yep, we should fire the graphics guy, but we feel sorry for him. If he didn't have this job, what would he be doing right now? Super True likes VCU to cover this number, and Johnny Walker likes VCU and the over. Cash Kane says, what did I go with in that Ohio game? I went with the over. I figured you guys' consensus was on Ohio, but I'll take the over. I got both teams in the 80s, I think, Kane. Robert says, under here with St. Joe's and VCU. And oh, that's cool, Jermaine. I'm not sure about that, but it's cool. Okay. You guys are feeling the vibes of Sunny Hill in there. All right, here is a lean to St. Joe's by Jake. Not much, I don't think, going. Good conversation in there. I'll take VCU here. I'll lay the 1.5 here on the road. Okay, next up, Providence and Villanova. Let's get to some Big East action here. Providence just 9-9 right now. Villanova 11-7 coming into this one. You got Villanova here favored by 8 in this one. It's just a matter of, do you think that Villanova can bounce back here from a couple of losses in a row? They failed to cover the number as a dog. They lost to Xavier on the road. They lost to St. John's on the road. A little bit of a tough 2 games there for Villanova. Providence lost at Creighton last time out. So teams struggling on the road here in the Big East. Villanova is 8-4 against the spread at home so far this season, but Providence is 6-3 against the spread as an underdog, although just 2-3 against the spread on the road. Villanova's gone over in 9 of 12 games as a favorite this year, and Providence has gone over in 5 of 8 games as an underdog. See what you got here in this one with Villanova and Providence in Philly tonight. Villanova's covered 8 of their last 9 at home, as a matter of fact, in that run of 8-4. Also, 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone under, including 4 of the last 5 games between the two teams here at Villanova. So, I should say at the Wells Fargo Center, but the Villanova home court. So, let's see what you guys have in this one. I kind of want to play the total is a premium, but I might have to use it here. I'm not sure. I might not be sure on the side. Let me see what the chat says here in this one, if anything. Okay. Nasty Nate likes his Friars to smash it up here in this one on the road. Failed to give out one. I think there was only one Steam play this whole show, so I think I blew it off. But it's one game that we're not previewing. But it was Air Force and Fresno State under at 142 and a half. Here it went down to 141, but that's really the only move I've heard. I've talked about several, but none have come across during this show. So you're not missing anything. Hey, here's Nunya's action here today. This Robert Morris money line against Green Bay and Georgetown money line against DePaul. Thank you, Nunya. Great appearance last night. I have a feeling we're going to see more Nunya here. I think he really had a lot of people liking what he was doing there last night. Okay, super true. Nova first half over. And let's see here. Oops. Jermaine says, take Nova here. Spoon, it's so good to have Spoon with the comments here for us in the chat. Appreciate that. Yeah, Bryce Hopkins. Uh, yeah, that's going to be it. For sure, I would guess. Okay. I guess that's it from you guys here on the. Oh, Fernando's on the over. There we go. There's Fernando on a play. All right. Let me make. I'm going to go over as well. Over feels like my premium in this game, but I'm not sure on the side. Even though Nate just told me Providence is going to smash, so I'll just use the total here as my play. Villanova first half spread over for the game for Super True. Got a few more here on the college card. How about Georgetown taking on DePaul and more Big East action? Boy, DePaul has really come back down to earth right now once they've entered in conference play. Look, they were never really that good to begin with. They just were able to beat non-conference teams this year quite handily because, yeah, maybe the program certainly improved. Georgetown's found a losing streak here all of a sudden, although they did cover in 2 of the 3 games. They did get beat by Connecticut, but it was only by 8 as a 5.5 point spread. So, will Georgetown be able to cover a big number though against DePaul? DePaul is ending up now really struggling against the number 0-5 against the spread on the road this season, and 1-7 against the spread now as an underdog. So when they were beating up teams that, yeah, maybe they weren't as good, but they were able to beat before. Maybe they weren't getting numbers in years past, but here it is. Now they were winning early and not covering. Now they're just not winning and not covering. So Georgetown still, you got to lay a pretty big number here against DePaul for sure, but does feel like DePaul has gone thump. They've actually covered 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. But again, this is a whole new Georgetown. They're not, overwhelmingly improved, but consistent, more or less, right? A better defensive team, certainly, than the experiments that we saw. Look, it was never going to work with the coaches that Georgetown had, despite their legendary status as players, right? So 5 straight games have gone under at home for Georgetown, 9 of the last 12 between these two teams here in DC have gone under. So DePaul's covered them before, but it does feel like it's kind of turned around here a little bit. Let's see if the chat agrees. Here's Cash Kane likes Georgetown against the spread. Jermaine says Georgetown, DePaul's horrible on the road. And Georgetown will get the number. Nasty Nate says, how about a Celtics Friars teaser? Oh boy, if there's not a Nasty Nate special, there it is. Thomas notices the difference in Georgetown. Robert's on the under here in this one. Cash Kane says it's been a rough go right now for DePaul in the Big East right now, no doubt about it. But hats off to the Big East. I mean, they've clearly distanced themselves as a number 4 conference here, it feels like right now. Let me look at the standings here real quick with Georgetown 3-3. Pretty good, right? Pretty good. Not bad. Okay. Oh, did I make a pick here in this one? Give me here. I'm gonna go with the over in this one. I know. Yeah, I'm going over here in this one. I know Robert did go under there, and yeah, Georgetown's definitely going under here. It feels like big time, but I expect, yeah, maybe it will be a total crushing here. Super True did like DePaul though here, but yeah, no doubt Georgetown's gone under, and how many games in a row now has Georgetown gone under? 11, 10 or 11. I'm pretty sure at this point they're 4 and 13 to the under this season. But DePaul's an over team, 12 and 6 to the over, 5 and 3 to the over as a dog. Now Georgetown is more of an under team, but uh, I think I just think of it as a blowout. Maybe DePaul will be on the short end and not be able to get enough points, but I think that's why I'm going to make it my play here on the show. I think I prefer over. Uh, Maybe Georgetown will just stifle them, but all right. Thomas says, how'd you compare them with the other conferences? I've got, I'd say right now, Big East, I'd say is number four. I'd say Big East is number four right now. That's what the Ken Palm is. Now, I agree with the Ken Palm uh, with the top, probably almost all the way. Well, it might be a discussion for another time, but all right, let me keep it going though. Let's get this show over with. Thank you, everybody. This is a big one here, right? Conference play between Thomas knows. There we got Youngstown here going up against Wisconsin Milwaukee in Horizon action here tonight. You got uh, both teams right in the thick of things in the Horizon. Youngstown's in third at 6-2, one game back of first place. Milwaukee's a game and a half back with a 5-2 record right now. And you got to think these two are going to be in the hunt. Yeah, they're looking up at Cleveland State and Fort Wayne right now, but all it would take would be a couple of road wins or something to change their fortunes, and maybe that will be what happens for Youngstown here. The Getting a road win would be a big, big win for Young, big win for both. But Youngstown already 6-2, and if they could get a road win here, they're 6-3 against the spread on the road. Milwaukee is 4-3 against the spread at home, and Milwaukee is undefeated at home so far this season. And Youngstown has lost four of their 6 games as an underdog so far. Let me pass along a little bit of steam. I did recommend Virginia Commonwealth today here on the show a little while ago. They're taking some steam right now. Virginia Commonwealth is up to a 2-point favorite. They were actually 3 and went all the way down to 1 or 1.5, and now back up to 2. And the steam right now is in on VCU. Also, the Carolina Hurricanes took some steam here against Vegas. We already said they were up to $1.55, but right now the Hurricanes are now $1.65 here at Bet Online. Steam rolling in here. We found some. Found some steam here. All right, see what you have here. This just feels like a pretty important game for these two teams anyway in conference. Youngstown is 5-12 to the under so far this season, including 3-6 to the under on the road. But meanwhile, Milwaukee is 5-2 to the over at home. So see what you like here in this one with Youngstown taking on Wisconsin Milwaukee in the Horizon League. Milwaukee's games at home in conference play rarely score this many points, and you just have a Youngstown team that has gone under quite a bit. Now, I know that Milwaukee's average would indicate maybe this one will get into the mid 140s, but if you look back at some of these scores, Wisconsin, Milwaukee, right in conference play at home last 2 seasons, I think they rarely kind of get to this number. See if I can look at some of these scores so far with these conference home games. Green Bay was 129, and IU Indy that was 169, but that is IU Indy. That was the um, one that kind of stands out as the high scoring game. Green Bay was one oh, that was on the road. Cleveland State was 146, right on the number. But last year, for sure. Okay, let me go to the comments here real quick. See what you have here with. Oh boy. Here we go. Let's take a look at some of these picks here from the chat. I got laugh here. Youngstown State for Cash Kane. I'll go with Cash Kane here. I like Youngstown State. Yeah, I might like them on the money line here actually, but still, I think the total is my premium. Want to say hello and welcome to Speeceful Looter. Oh boy, formerly known as by a different name, but still pretty good names. Milwaukee, though, was the pick for Speeceful Looter. And here's Rye Cape. Has an over there in women's college basketball today. How about that? I haven't even seen the lines yet in women's ball, but all right. Youngstown under here for Johnny. And here's Robert on Youngstown. Youngstown here for Spoons Bets. Lots of Youngstown support. Fernando, lean. It's always a lean for Fernando. He's holding up the walls. A guy, it's hard to, it's hard to tease Fernando. The guy gets so generous with his plays. We allow Fernando to lean. All right. Wow, we're gonna get a 7-teamer here tonight. I guess I'm already stuck here on Youngstown with you guys, so I'll just take them as my play here. I'm probably gonna need the total here. I need all the premiums I can get at this point. Gonna be a pretty light night on the service, if you know what I mean. If you buy my subscription for one day today, if you purchase it, well, put on Saturday for free. How about that? Okay, I think that might be it. Super True says they actually do play a little bit of defense here. Irish King coming off a huge day. Solo, great job on that new show. Great to see you here. Really appreciate that. You did a great job last night. Hope to hook up with you guys. All right. And I think that's going to do it here on this play. But a lot of opinions here on this play, on this game. All right, let's get a few good ones in here for sure. Let's go to Indiana and Ohio State. Let's get in some Big Ten action here for sure. This one's the Fox game of the Friday night Fox game. Both teams come in with a couple of losses coming in here, but man, you got to think right now with the offenses of these teams. Look at this total. Is this too low here for what these two teams? Yeah, I think the numbers don't necessarily reflect that these are over teams, but man, this matchup to me kind of says higher than this for sure. Now you have Ohio State coming in 7-4 against the spread at home, 7-4 against the spread as a favorite. Indiana 1-4 against the spread as an underdog so far this season. Ohio State 3-7 to the under in their last 10 games overall coming into this one. But man, I don't know what is kind of feels like a what am I missing type of situation here with these two teams. You got Indiana. They did get blown out in their last two games for sure by 25 points against Illinois and against Iowa here. But you got an Ohio State team. They lost their last two games as well, but they only lost them by 2 points to Wisconsin and Oregon. Now, Big Ten favorites right now. Let's see. Big Ten favorites kind of continuing to roll here right now. Indiana's won 4 out of last 5 meetings between these two teams. Here it is. Big Ten favorites right now, 27-19 against the spread overall here right now. So they continue to roll here at this point. So man, I don't know. I like this game a lot. I don't know if it's side or total, but I like both. Let's go to the chat here. I don't know if I can do this one any justice and just want to see what you guys have here. Ohio State has won and covered 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams. Indiana, however, has covered 4 of the last 5 overall. So Ohio State wins and covers at home, but Indiana kind of wins and covers when they're at home, I think is what that says. All right, here we go. Gonna take a look here with. Got a big under here right now for Super True. That kind of talked to me. That kind of flew right in the face. And here's Joe T. He's got the over here. A little bit of conflict. Thomas is on the under, though. So the under is preferred right now. I think if you look at the numbers, it kind of says under. But I have a vision of these two teams on the court. That's not handicapping. That's just all right. Buckeyes here for Kane. Gravy bets. Hello, Gravy. And Super True. I think he's talking about this one and not the Ohio game against Akron. R. Tomps likes the over as well. Robert likes the Buckeyes here. These home teams continue to roll. I'm going over here as my play on the show. And, I think Robert knows where I'm headed in this one. But I'll take the over here with these two teams. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over, and that's just the way I'll end up in this one. But no doubt, Buckeyes probably they're top 20 in defensive field goal efficiency in the country. Oh, Super True was talking about that Ohio game. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Steam play.
Oh, okay. All right, a couple more here in college, and the show will be over. Thank you for joining me here today with Iowa taking on UCLA. Here, another Big Ten game. This is the Peacock game here tonight. Oh, no, I'm sorry. This is the FS1 game. I thought we had a Peacock. Thought we had a Peacock in here somewhere, you guys. Apparently, this is the FS1 game. Let me look at the TV listings here all of a sudden. Did I mess up my TV listings? No Peacock tonight. All right. Iowa taking on UCLA here. UCLA, that disastrous road trip. Things went haywire for sure there. They failed in every game pretty much. Nebraska, Michigan. Actually, Michigan, that was that home game, but Maryland and Rutgers on the road. It's just been a bad stretch so far since the new year. UCLA has basically lost and failed them all, it feels like. For Iowa coming in here, they are 1-3 against the spread on the road, but they did have wins of late against Nebraska and Indiana at home before getting clubbed by USC here the other night. They spent the week here in Los Angeles waiting for this one. So see what you guys here maybe have in this one with Iowa and UCLA here tonight. Iowa's 12-5, 3-3 in conference play. The Bruins are 2-4 right now in conference play. Just goes to everything I keep saying about the addition of USC and UCLA, and I'm taking my lumps. I mean, I was saying this will be a fine move, even as we didn't like that it didn't make sense. We didn't want it necessarily. I thought the West Coast teams would hold their own. They have not cut the grade in the Big Ten in either of the major sports for sure. So Iowa is 0-3 on the conference road and 1-2 against the spread on the conference road so far. UCLA, meanwhile, 0-2 against the spread as a favorite so far in conference play here in their new conference. So the Bruins still retain the number 1 ranking in the country as far as for forcing turnovers. That's what they do, and if it goes that way, they could get this one here. They're still laying a pretty big number, though. Uh, I don't know if the we'll see here, but you talk about UCLA not necessarily covering right as a home favorite in conference so far, and maybe the tendency of the Big Ten teams covering in conference still pertains to the uh, regular Big Ten teams, including Maryland and Rutgers and the relatively new ones in there. But that's just how the Big Ten was kind of going before these two teams got here. And maybe it won't pertain to the Bruins blowing out the Hawkeyes here tonight because the things are going bad for the Bruins. But at least they're at home here in this one. And, Iowa, you think of all their overs and everything and how they've just turned every game into kind of a shootout or something. How will that match up with UCLA, right? Iowa's gone over in 8 of their last 10 games overall, but the Bruins have gone under in 8 of their last 11, 8 of 11 games at home. All right. Let's see what you guys have in this one. UCLA still won 9 of their last 10 games at home, and uh, they've Iowa's 3-7 in their last 10 road games dating back to last year. And you got to come out to the West Coast now. So this one has quite a few comments. Intriguing game, I think, is what it is. And I think we started with Jermaine with Iowa here. Cash Kane's on the Bruins. R. Thompson's on Iowa plus the points. And Robert's going with the under here. Sports Money is here smashing buttons. Thank you, Sports Money. All right. That might be it from you guys on this one, actually. Chase noticing the live ads in there. Hey, that means we're growing here. So, does like UCLA though as well. Super True likes the under here. I got to take Iowa in this one. They're the one that has enough offensive quality, it feels like, to at least match up here with their balance against the Bruins. Just got to take care of that ball, I guess, is what it is. But all right, I think do we have one more here? I'm on Iowa in that one. Okay, we got one more here out in the Mountain West with the late game tonight. Boise taking on New Mexico. Got New Mexico here, a 3-point favorite. Total 152 in this one. Maybe I'm seeing 3.5, 151.5 at a few places here right now with New Mexico coming in 14-4. They got the great home court advantage, of course, at the pit, but Boise's one of the few teams that have been able to figure out one of the toughest home courts long term in college basketball. Boise's actually covered 5 of their last 6 trips into the pit. New Mexico has won 13 of their last 15 games at home, dating back to last season. They're 9-1 straight up at home so far this year, 6-5 against the spread, and Boise just 2-4 against the spread overall on the road. They have covered both of their tries as an underdog so far this season. 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone over, and the teams are combined to go 21-14 to the over so far this season, including New Mexico's 8-3 over mark at home and 9-5 over mark as a favorite here. Boise does have some under tendencies, it feels like, over the last season and a half here right now. Also against non-ranked teams, they seem to be able to play a little bit better brand of defense, but still here at the pit, we'll see. Let's see what you have in this one. I think I'm knowing what I'm doing here. And we've got Thomas is on New Mexico here, and Jermaine says Lobos all day. And Cash Cane's on the Lobos here as well. Here's all Lobos. Robert's on New Mexico. Curtis is on New Mexico. Thomas says consensus play New Mexico. All right. I'll go with the over here in this one. If you guys are taking New Mexico, like I said, I think Boise's one team that may be figured out, but I'm going to trust you guys on this one. Chase says it's a big total. Cash Kane says under this, not last year by Lobos. Well, let's see. Last year in this meeting here, it was 86-78. Boise got the win as a 10.5-point dog here in this meeting, in the January meeting last year at New Mexico. So, all right, consensus is on New Mexico. Someone's getting a chance at an 8-teamer tonight. I might have to take out a loan if someone wins this consensus parlay. Let's do it. Consensus parlay time here, and we'll do the commercial here real quick, and that way we'll bring up the consensus parlay. Type your comment in the chat to be eligible to win the consensus parlay here tonight with me. And don't forget, you can get my plays today over at winnable.com/Ramon. I'll have my plays up there, my protected content, and you can subscribe for just 50 cents a day when you use the promo code STEAM. Click on the lower right hand corner, the QR code there will take you to that page that looks like the phone on the left side of the screen with my face on it, and then you can scroll down and get the free subscription to some extra picks from me, and then also some other picks from me, the ones that I kind of like the most here. So just 50 cents a day to have my picks in your pocket. If you subscribe today for the $4, I'll throw in tomorrow for sure, because I'm not going to have a lot of premiums here tonight. I think I just gave out all the best plays that I thought I had, and well, I need a winning day, so hopefully we'll roll here, getting ready for the weekend. Thanks a lot for listening to that. Let's go to the consensus parlay here. Oh, there I am. We bring it up here. Bad production skills again. There we go. All right, we've got 39 of you in here today, 75 of you watching or so right now, so really do appreciate it. Thomas has got all the plays. I don't even know if I can read all those, but man, Toronto, Heat, Oklahoma City, Memphis, Buffalo, Ohio, Youngstown. Man, that's a lot of games. Here we go. See who is going to, I think just winning today would be the accomplishment. Here we go. Fernando, Nutflush, Tom, Nicholas, Oldie, Irish King, Damon, AOD, Right Cape, Tom, Raycard, Wine Time, T Moss, and Matt D stands for Denver. Matt D is the winner of the 8-teamer tonight. Oh my goodness. Let's do it. Let's get this thing to go viral, and then let's hit an 8-team parlay here for Matt tonight. Wow. All right. Appreciate it. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining me here on the show. Let's get Matt that, I don't know, what, 150 to 1 payoff tonight? Jeez, think about that. We'll have about, hopefully, 300 or 400 views on the card there, and I'll be giving Matt $500 here maybe tonight if we get enough views. Let's go, Matt. Hit that 8-teamer. All right, that's going to do it for the morning steam. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 Eastern, and let me get this out of here. I've really screwed this show up. There we go. At 9 Eastern. What time am I coming on tomorrow? 9 a.m. Eastern, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific with more morning steam. We'll be back for a huge college basketball card. Of course, we got NFL action tomorrow with our 2 first games of the quarterfinal round, if you will, the conference semifinals. And we'll have a big NHL card, of course, NBA as well. And don't forget, we'll have our companion coverage tomorrow of UFC. I believe it'll start at 5:30 Eastern, 2:30 Pacific. If you're not joining me tomorrow, I'll give you this update here. But catch the companion stream for UFC 311. It's a blockbuster card here. You can get your handicapping started with us here on the Sports Money Network. If you tune in to our videos, you have first off here, you have First Strike. Just recorded yesterday with our 4 picks from our guys, from Sub, from Jeff M, from Mikey, from Fanatical Jim. They get you 4 plays there to get you going on the UFC card this weekend. And then also check out the live tab where I was with BB and Dagestan Poppy as we previewed 3 fights on this week's UFC card, including that main event. A great card here this weekend, of course. Blockbuster action here at UFC 311. Of course, 2 championship fights, really of almost equal billing to a certain extent, but you got Sarukian against Makhachev. Makhachev's a big favorite. And Davalishvili, the underdog, against Nurmagomedov, and other top-notch fights here from UFC as well on Saturday. So appreciate it, everybody. Appreciate you joining me here on the Morning Steam. We're back tomorrow. Thanks, everybody, for all your great chats. And let's see, is this Tim Patrick there for... did I get that right? Or is it Patrick Mahomes rushing for 17 yards? That's what it was. All right, it's going to do it. Catch you tomorrow. Appreciate it all. And have a great sports weekend. For the Sports Money Network, I'm Ramon Scott. So...
Steam, it's time to break, run for cover. That's gonna cover, that's gonna cash. Then we make the 100-yard dash to the window. I don't know what you thought. It's Ramon Scott, running so hot. Sports make money and we make money with sports money every single day. NFL, NHL, NCAA. Stay away from the juice, we might play a parlay. It's the Morning Steam. What? Ramon Scott, sports money. What? Wake your ass up and let's get to the